All right, welcome everyone to our 6-week Math 115 summer course. So as you can see, we're looking at our Lamaku homepage right now. And in this video, I just wanted to go over some important aspects of Lamaku and our course, as well as go over the online homework platform that we're going to be using, which is Pearson MyLab Math, and some important aspects of the syllabus. So the first thing that we're going to do is look at this welcome module. So here are all the instructions for what to do over this weekend before the first day of classes. So what you need to do first is review the course syllabus, which we will do, and then register for MyLab Math. This is the online homework platform that we're going to be using, and there's some instructions here on how to register for it. The next thing that we'll do is look at the course schedule, so I can show you guys how to easily keep pace with the course, and then we'll talk about the discussion that's going to be due this upcoming Sunday. So this video is actually going to live here, and the first thing that we're going to do is look at the course syllabus. So the syllabus is quite long. I'm just going to highlight some important aspects here. Here is the instructor information, so how to contact me. That is my name. I'm in the math department, and this is my in-person office. And since this is an online class, I'm not going to be having scheduled in-person office hours, but if you did want to meet in person, just reach out to me. Typically, I will be having office hours on Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. via Zoom, and you can just click on that link to pop into the Zoom room. We can also do office hours by appointment, and again, you can just email me. My email is right here, and then email through Lamaku is preferred, and you can do so by clicking on the envelope here on the top of our screen. And for asking course questions, we are going to be utilizing the discussion tab in Lamaku, which I am going to go over in more detail later. So here's some more important information, the course overview and expectations. So I highly recommend you read through this. And then all online courses at Windward Community College follow the college's RSI definition for ensuring quality instruction for online courses. So please read through this. But you can expect me to communicate with you frequently about our coursework in several ways, mainly through announcements. So I'm going to be posting announcements every Monday and Friday with general information about our course, due dates, and other important information. Okay, so please make sure to update your Lamaku notifications to make sure you are receiving these announcements. You can click on this link here, which I believe is a YouTube video that will show you how to do so, but I can also show you how to do that at the end of this video. We'll see some weekly modules posted in Lamaku. I will go over that as well. Some feedback on some supporting written work that you will need to turn in, and then discussion topics. We'll also go over the Q&A Lamaku discussion board. This is for all general course questions. And then again, if you need to reach out to me, please email me for all private communication. The Q&A Lamaku discussion board is going to be visible to everyone. All right, and then campuses are required by federal regulations to verify the participation of students in their classes. And so I'm going to be using the first discussion as the participation verification. So please make sure that you do that by the deadline, which is May 31st. All right, so here's some more course information, the student learning outcomes. So please read through this. The required materials is the MyLab Math textbook, which we will find through the online homework platform. All right, now here is our course format and assignments. So there will be one cumulative computer-based final exam on MyLab Math. It will be timed, so 3 hours, and you will need to submit handwritten work for your submission. So just pretty much showing your work for each problem. You will have 2 attempts on the exam, and you only need to submit written work for your best attempt. If you do not submit written work, the MyLab Math score that you get will be reduced by 50%. So please keep that in mind. And no late final exams will be accepted, and it's going to be due no later than July 2nd. Additionally, we will be having weekly computer-based quizzes. These will be due every Sunday at midnight on MLM and will be timed. And similar to the final exam, you will need to submit written work for each of your quiz. And just for your best attempt, you'll also have 2 attempts for each quiz here. So please read through that and let me know if you have any questions on this. I'll show you exactly where you can submit your written work after we go over this. We'll also be having computer-based homework due through MLM, and this will be due every Friday at midnight. And again, this will be outlined in the course schedule. And lastly, there will be 3 discussion posts throughout the semester, and this is going to be located on Lamaku's discussion page. The posts will open on Mondays and are due on Sundays. So I will show you where that lives, and we can go over that a little bit later. Here's some more information on our course technology, Lamaku, and here is our grading policy. So the final exam will be 20% of your grade. Quizzes are 30, homework's 35, and then discussion posts are going to be 15. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Here's the grade breakdown. And then here is our course schedule. So all of our due dates are nicely outlined here. In our first column, we have our first week. So 5/26 is the start date for this course, and then 5/31 is that following Sunday. So all of our homework for this first week is going to be due on 5/29, which is a Friday. And then our first discussion and first quiz are going to be due on Sunday. And that's kind of how each week's going to go. As you can see for the second week, our homework's going to be due 6/5, which is a Friday, and then our quiz 6/7, which is a Sunday, and so on. And then something to note here is that for our last week, our homework and our final exam are all going to be due on the same day because this is just the last day of the course and it is a Thursday. So please keep that in mind. Now, there is some more important information about academic integrity, AI, some student responsibilities, and etiquette, as well as a lot of additional resources here. So please go ahead and go through this. But that's it for the syllabus. The next thing that I wanted to show you is this module here on the left-hand side. So this is the course schedule. That way you can easily access it without having to scroll all the way to the bottom of the syllabus here. But it's everything that we just saw. But with that being said, each week is broken up into modules here. So each week kind of looks like what you just saw for the course schedule. So for example, in the first week, we're going to go over chapter 1 on data collection. And there are example videos, PowerPoint slides, and homework all on MyLab Math. And you can find this by clicking on the assignments, and all of that extra materials are there. Pearson has videos which go over each topic from our textbook, and I do highly recommend watching them before attempting any of the homework assignments or quizzes. But I also went over some practice problems that I think are going to be helpful in the videos linked below. So you can click on this video here, and it's going to look exactly like this. I'm talking, screen recording, and going over some problems from our textbook. And then if you click on the blank practice problems here, this is just going to be a blank set of the problems that we looked at. You can click on this. As you can see here, this is just blank, and this is what I go over in the video. And then this would be the solutions. So this is what I upload after the video. So I highly recommend watching the videos, but you also get the blank and annotated notes here as well. Okay. Again, as you can see on the left-hand side, the due dates are nicely outlined. So due on, or this upcoming Friday, after our course starts, 5/29, the first 2 homework assignments are due, and then that following Sunday, our first discussion and our first quiz are due. So let's go ahead and click on this link here. This is going to take us straight to our first discussion, and this is just going to be a little intro discussion. So please make a post with this information here, and then you can create your post by following the instructions down here. Something else to note is that you can also access the discussions just by clicking on the discussions tab here in the top menu bar. So like I mentioned, we're going to have 3 discussions and they're all going to be graded. And the first one's outlined here, and we do have 2 more. They're not going to be available to you until the Monday before they're due. And then we also have our Q&A Lamaku discussion board that I previously mentioned. This is ungraded. This is just a discussion board that we can use as a reference for this course. So you can ask any general questions regarding the course and have conversations with your fellow classmates. And I started some threads here. So for example, if you have MyLab Math homework questions, you can put them there. General questions can go in the next one, and so on. And you can also, I think, create your own topics as well. But I highly recommend utilizing this to kind of just keep up with the course as an extra resource and communicate with your fellow classmates. So that was, let's go back to our week 1 here. This is what week 1 looks like. We're going to submit all of our homework and the quiz and the first discussion within this first week. And then week 2 is similar. We're going to have, we're going to be going over chapter 2 and 3 on summarizing data. And again, homework's going to be due on Friday, and then the second quiz is going to be due on Sunday. And then we also have our video and our practice problems here on the right-hand side. Now, just like in the first week where we had quiz 1, you're going to need to submit your written work, and it's also linked here. So You can submit your written work here by uploading a file, and it does need to be a single PDF. That's the only way that I'm going to be able to accurately read it in Lamaku. And you can also access submitting your written work by clicking on the assignments tab. It's not going to be under quizzes, but here, this is going to be where all of our written work lives. So you need to submit written work for every single quiz. We have that here, and written work for the final exam. But again, like I just showed you, it's also linked within each weekly module here. Now, we do have 3 discussions, so we're not going to have a discussion every single Sunday, like the quizzes, but every other Sunday. So this is how Lamaku looks. So we've gone over the syllabus, the course schedule, and Lamaku. The next thing that we're going to look at is our online homework platform. So you go back to this welcome module. These are the instructions here to access the course. If we look at this 4th paragraph here, we're going to click on the vital source module in the left-hand navigation menu, then click on launch courseware, and then select a yellow bar that says open MyLab/mastering, and then you're going to follow the on-screen instructions there. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll click on vital source here, and then click on this link, and it's going to jump to a link within our bookstore. So we should see launch courseware. So you're going to click on that. Now the issue here is that I am on an iPad, and for some reason when we click launch courseware, sometimes it works on the iPad, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so it's not going to work this time. But what you should see next after clicking on that would be the Open My Lab Mastering button, and it's a yellow button. But again, we're on an iPad, so it's not going to work here, but that's fine. I still want to show you what the course looks like. Once you follow the on-screen instructions, it should take you directly to this page. So this is our home page for Pearson My Lab Math. So on the home page, you're going to see a calendar here. So today, all of the assignments are open. So that's why we have 18 plus here on this calendar. But what you're going to do is you're going to click on the assignments tab here. And this is where all of our assignments are. And they are made available to you as of right now. So you can work ahead if you want, but at the very least, make sure you're keeping pace with the course schedule for this course. So yeah, this is where all of your assignments live. You can click on them. And this is our media and our PowerPoints. So media meaning videos, and then PowerPoints here. And you will have to watch through and go over each of these before you can access the questions. As you can see, they aren't linked here, but they will be once you go through and look at all of the media. All right, now you can also access your course grade by clicking on Student Gradebook here. So at any time, you can always check your grade because all of our assignments are going to be living in MyLab Math. The only assignment that's not going to be added to the gradebook until we reach the end of the semester is the discussions. But everything else will live here, and you can get an idea of what your grade is in the course by looking at your overall percentage score here. All right, so that is everything for Pearson and Lamaku. The last thing that I wanted to show you guys was how to update your notifications. As I mentioned, there is a video linked on the syllabus that shows you how to do this, but you can also click on your name here in the top right-hand corner and then click on notifications. And then also make sure that you do have the Pulse app. This will help you be able to access everything on your Lamaku site through your phone. All right, so here is our contact methods. Make sure that your hawaii.edu email is there. And then here's all of our instant notifications. So you can check these boxes. You can check all of them if you want, but you don't need to. But make sure you are checking the new announcement made available here. This is the 4th one down. Every time you or I post a new announcement, you should be getting an email notification. Some other important ones might be announcement updated. Sometimes I might make a little typo there and have to update it. Assignment feedback release. This is also helpful for when I give you guys feedback on your written work for your quizzes and the final exam. And then maybe the assignment due date would be helpful as well. But again, you can check all of these. Make sure you do have the discussions checked as well, because we do kind of want to foster a lot of participation through the discussions in this online course. But yeah, that is how you would update your notifications in Lamaku. Don't forget to press save in the bottom left-hand corner there. And yeah, please make sure that you watch this video. I will link it in the welcome module. And then once you've done so, please let me know if you have any other questions on anything. All right, thank you.